Now, I've made a lot of terrible admissions during my career, like for example, this haircut. But one thing I have never admitted to is playing League of Legends. You could subject me to the worst horrors imaginable. I could watch Tommy Wiseau's The Room. I could be subjected to Chinese water torture. I would endure anything except a single game of League of Legends. Now, to say I don't understand League of Legends at all is an understatement. I didn't even know what ARAM was. Whenever I heard people in a Discord call saying ARAM, I always thought they meant A-ramp, like they were pushing a site on CSGO. But like most competitive MOBAs and pretty much any competitive game, there's going to be an esports scene for it because esports scenes make a lot of money. Well, they don't, to be fair, because pretty much every single YouTuber that has talked about having their own esports org just admits that it is a huge money sink. They don't make any money from it. But League is, of course, one of those games that has a really, really extensive esports scene, much like another great game made by Riot, Valorant, that had such creators like IShowSpeed and Pokimane.
Damn, bro, shut up, bro. I know how to play this game. I'm not a noob, all right? Am I, yo, no, am I tripping? Am I tripping? Oh, wait, time out. It's a female talking to me right now. It's a female.
And one of the biggest esports scenes for League is the World Championship, which is held usually towards the end of every single year. Now, why am I, Pyrocynical, world-renowned Team Fortress 2 enjoyer, talking extensively about a game that I basically have never played? Well, as many of you know, I like to dive in headfirst and do investigative journalism in many varied topics, like the Kendrick and Drake beef, where I got every single word wrong. I swear to God, Metro's booming track is just gonna... Woo, that's a bad one. That's gonna follow me around for a couple of years. Well, the reason why I'm talking about League is because of this guy here, Lee Chanju, also commonly known by his player name, Yahar. Now, this guy is 24 years old. You know, he's a young buck. He's got a long life ahead of him, and already he's a retired pro player. So he spent his time playing from 2016 to 2022, so it's only really in the past couple of years that he's chosen to retire. Much like professional football, professional esports players are usually in their early to mid-20s, because after that, to lock in and to do a game competitively, you probably need about 5 scoops of gamer subs and then about 3 snuffs under your mouth just to be able to even concentrate for more than 5 seconds. Now, Lee is someone who had been on multiple different teams while he was, you know, playing pro. He played for Seoul in the KEG Championships, which, to be fair, he was only a part of for like a few months. Now, at this time, there wasn't really anything crazy to recognize about him. He wasn't like, you know, a badass player that would absolutely dominate, and he wasn't absolutely trash either. Just kind of like, he was good for Pro League, but there was definitely some cases where his gameplay... He really did pop off. Like when he joined another South Korean's team to compete in the LCK, which is the League's championship in Korea. Now, like I said, I've never played League. I had no idea what was going on there. To me, it just looked like cookie clicker, but he got a pentakill, and I've seen a lot of memes online that's pretty good. And an ace is something you can get in CSGO. So from what I can tell, he wiped the entire enemy team. Later down the line, Lee joined another Korean team known as the Jin Air Green Wings. And this started back in 2011 for StarCraft. And then 2 years later in 2013, there was another focus added to League of Legends. So Lee joined in basically the latter half of 2017. And there he would play for basically like a little over 3 years. Now, this is where he would spend a lot of his time playing professionally. And even Jin Air making it a few times into the LCK with Lee as one of the mid laners. Now, who knows if his time would have continued on Jag, because unfortunately the team disbanded both their StarCraft and League teams in 2020, having Lee basically on his own to seek another team. Now, I know I'm doing a lot of lore mastering here. I'm talking about, you know, this guy and all the teams he went to, but believe me, when I hit you with the big news, it is going to make a lot of sense. Not long after his former team disbanded, he ended up joining another team called Brion, which was formerly called Fredit Brion. Now, his time on this team, like many other teams he was on, really did not last long at all. He was mainly on there basically as like substitutions, you know, if someone got a little bit sick maybe, or, you know, they took too much gamer subs in the middle of a game and they had a little caffeine crash, he'd basically come on and take their spot. Now, his contract was never renewed, but he managed to stay on that team for around 8 months. So concluding his pro league journey, he actually quit playing for Korean teams and joined a Japanese team. So really this guy Lee became the entire embodiment of Place Japan. Much like how I myself cannot shut up about Sweden being the best country in the world, I'm basically a Sweeaboo, to the point that there are now memes circulating about me because I keep bringing it up on stream. Now, this team was called Detonation Focus Me. I'll be honest, I got a nasty feeling I'm pronouncing this wrong. I feel like I got another Metro's booming track on my hands here, but I'm just saying it the the way it's spelt on screen, okay? Even if there's like a capital N in there. Now, this team is a very well-known team, but even then, it didn't last long. He stuck around on that team for basically like a split season, which is good in his name because they actually ended up winning the spring and summer 2022 split. And this was basically like his last final achievement, getting like platinum on a PS5 game before his retirement. And one thing that's really cool is DFM actually made him a send-off video, even if it was just one season and he didn't even, you know, end up staying for an entire year. Now, 6 seasons of League have been played out through his time in the LCK. Again, like I said earlier, ending his time in place Japan. Now here, I've got some statistics that were taken from his time at Jag. I mean, overall, it was like really good. You know, he wasn't as well known as someone like Faker. I mean, I don't play League and I know who Faker is, but I only know who Faker is because him and Tyler One went to the Heart Attack Grill and tried to eat burgers. And I just remember the video. It's rent-free in my head because Faker basically just ate like one slab of meat and he was like, no, I can't do anymore. Now, you're probably thinking, why am I making a video on a pro player who retired? That's a happy ending. Nothing wrong with that. Well, unfortunately, it seems that Lee got himself into some what we like to call spicy drama in the Lord's current year of 2024. Now, before I explain what's happened, obviously I do want to say this is still an ongoing case. There haven't been any convictions yet, but on June the 1st, it was announced that Lee was actually arrested by Vietnamese police and he was under investigation for murder. This was like a TikTok or a YouTube short. I'd say game end instead.
End game, obviously.
Now, this originally was something that was shared around by hotel staff. It was shared around 1 p.m. on the 30th of May. Lee and a woman only known as Miss Park rented a local hotel room together. Lee basically wanted to get the room and take Miss Park there for sex, but the feelings, they were not mutual, to say the least. Now, what the reports allege is after basically wanting to lay mad pipe and he couldn't, this led to a 10-minute heated argument. And then he started to use a pillow to suffocate her to keep her quiet. And then afterwards, he fled the scene and tried to go to the rooftop of the hotel. The reports are basically saying it was most likely that he basically realized what he did and was trying to commit suicide. Now, the hotel staff had gotten there first and basically stopped him before the police came and arrested him. And this obviously leads us to the point where the official investigation starts. But obviously, this entire situation happening outside of his own country of Korea, most likely he's going to be extradited to Korea to face official charges. Now, I do want to say again, there has been no official word on what he's done, more kind of just like the occasional news reports that cite their sources as like, bro, trust me. But there's some discussion in the news scene that he basically had like underlying mental health problems. And that led him to go to this extent. But the weird thing is as well, he has never had any kind of reports or like any kind of pattern of, you know, bad behavior or violence. This is the first time. It really does seem that in those 10 minutes, his entire personality completely changed. Obviously, this is a really sad situation. Like, I'm not even going to like crack any jokes or anything like that. And again, we still don't know the official confirmation of what has happened. Everything I've told you in this video is basically just from news reports within the country. A lot of it has been like translated and stuff as well. But yeah, it's terrifying to know that you could have someone that just snaps like that instantly. Like it's crazy. I'll definitely keep you guys updated on this one. I don't think it'll be worth doing an entire other video over. So, you know, if I see anything on stream, when I stream later today, I'll probably just mention something about it.